Well, welcome everyone to integrating non-BIM data in Revit with Ideate Sticky. My name is Richard Taylor with Ideate Software, the Great Tech Group. So I know we have a lot to cover here in 15 minutes. So again, just at the, as we get started here, you can type questions into the chat panel. Also, if there are ever any workflow questions and you're an Ideate software customer, you can send those questions to support@ideatesoftware.com and we will create a support ticket for you. Also, Naveen just posted the survey. I know we're only at the top of the presentation here, but we'd really appreciate you filling out that survey. It helps us focus these presentations to meet your needs. And I think she'll be probably putting the survey into the chat panel at the or towards the end of the presentation as well. This 15 at 15 series we're doing every other week at 2:15 Eastern and 11:15 a.m. Pacific time. And so we do have a YouTube channel called the 15 at 15 training series. So you can go to that YouTube channel and you can see all the past presentations that we have done. All right, well, we're here to talk about integrating non-BIM data into your Revit project with Ideate Sticky. Well, what is Ideate Sticky? Ideate Sticky is an add-on application from Ideate Software that allows you to live link Excel, Word, and PDF data into your Revit project and keep that data up to date. So this could be code lists, it could be general notes, it could be manufacturing data. There's a lot of information that are, are contained in these files that need to be on maybe a Revit sheet, or if it's a particular detail, it could be within a drafting view that's in PDF. That can work out very well. So the 15 at 15 focus here is really about the getting started guides. And so all of our solutions have these getting started guides. That's kind of a very high level overview of how you would start out the product and kind of maybe accomplish that first workflow. So you can go to our Ideate software website and go to help and then help for Ideate Sticky and then select the getting started guide, or you can do that directly from the application by clicking on the online help. And I'm just going to switch over to Revit very quickly. And if you come up here to Ideate software, you select on Ideate Sticky, right? The pull down menu here, you're going to select that you want to go to online help. That's going to bring up the help topic for Ideate Sticky, and you'll see that there is under getting started, there is the getting started guide, which is what I'm going to be kind of covering today, which is primarily the sample files. Okay, so all of our solutions work in a very similar way where you have access to the online help. So the Ideate Sticky user interface that I just showed you, it is made up of several components. So once you bring up the main dialog, you have the ability to create a sticky or a sticky note, right? And that's where you would browse to an Excel file, a Word file, or a PDF file. Then you can choose the individual worksheet. I'm going to show you in a second here. If you have an Excel file that has multiple worksheets, you can choose which one. And then you also have what we call the print area or the named region. So you can specify a number of cells that you want to bring in. So it doesn't have to be the entire document. You can actually specify what you'd like. And then you select OK to place that on a sheet. All right, so let's take a look at this. So again, we're going to go up to Ideate Software, and we're going to select on Ideate Sticky. All right, so all of the applications are under the Ideate Software ribbon panel. So there you see, and before I actually do Sticky, I'm going to create a sheet. And I'm going to use one of our other applications called the Ideate Sheet Manager, which is part of the Ideate apps. And I'm going to select that I want a title block for Ideate Sticky. I'm going to go ahead and create that sheet. And I'm also going to assign it to a particular parameter called Sticky that I've selected because I'm organizing the sheets based on that parameter. So that puts it right now in a very nice location. And then we'll be able to rename that. So like, I've got cover sheet, which is G000, and I want this to be G002. And then I'm going to call it that I want it to be my lighting schedule and specifications. So I'm giving it a name of a sheet. So of course you can create the sheet with just the tools in Revit, but I thought it would be nice to showcase or highlight our Ideate Apps tools as well. So now that that sheet has been created, I can go over to Ideate Sticky and bring up the main Ideate Sticky dialog. And like I said, you always want to start with the create. Here's where I would browse to that those sample files. All of these sample files are available to you. They're installed with Ideate Sticky. So we have Excel, we have Word, and we have PDF files. I'm going to use this lighting specification, this Philips lighting. So there are multiple worksheets in this file. I'm going to select the Ideate worksheet. So I say I want that data. And right now there's only the print area defined. So that's going to be the default. And then I'm going to give it a name. You can decide that you'd like to name this whatever, but I'm going to say Boston Project Lighting Schedule. And then I'll select OK. And that links that information, as you see there at the top there, the Boston Project Lighting Schedule, into my Revit model. Then I can decide where I want to place that on the sheet. Now, this information, as far as the schedule, it actually appears on the project browser under schedules. So I'm going to scroll down here and I'm going to show you in schedules that we have this Boston Project Lighting Schedule. I can double click to actually edit the information. However, we don't want to edit the information in the schedule. We want to always edit the information in this source document. So I'm going to bring up Ideate Sticky again. We'll highlight that Boston Project Lighting Schedule, and then I'm going to select Open the File. This will actually open the source document. So in this case, it's the Excel file. I'm going to go over to the worksheet called Philips Lighting, and I'm going to select on that, and we're going to make some changes. So remember, this is for my Boston project, so I'm going to say Philips Lighting for Boston Medical Project. So I'll just type in some different text. And in order to fit this, I'm going to need to stretch out one of those cells. So I'll do that. And I want to make some changes to the color as well. So we'll just make this a kind of a salmon color. And then, like I said, we also have the ability to choose which cells. So maybe I don't need that Core Pro downlight, and I only want these cells. So I'm going to give it a named region. It's kind of funny. I just called it Taylor, but I always check. I say, oh, there's the print area. That's the default, which is everything, which contains the Core Pro LED downlight, but Taylor does not. So now we'll save that, and we'll go back to Revit and Ideate Sticky. Now, the dialog was already open, so I can just go over here and select on, make sure that I've got that worksheet. Now notice that the region is showing as Taylor. Now, when I close that, it has the smaller region, right? It's only the 3 lights, and it has the updated text as well, okay? So that's been automatically updated. What I'd like to do now is just show you how you can use that auto update. Now, when I check the auto update, what's going to happen is that when there's a change made to the original source file, it will automatically update the information on the project open. So what I'm going to do here is, again, change that. I'm going to give some love to our southern friends from Massachusetts in Rhode Island. So I'm going to change this to the Providence Medical Project. So I changed some text there. Again, I'm going to have to expand this the cells a little bit, and then we'll save that. Now, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to update, but even though that auto update is off, right? So you can see that it says it's out of date when I bring up the sticky dialog. So normally I would say update, but in this case, I just wanted to show you this. I'm going to sync with Central, and I'm saving this model, so it does have that sticky note, right? And then we'll close this Revit model and then reopen it. Because I have that auto update set, it's going to then go and check to make sure all the stickies are up to date. And I've actually slowed this down a little bit so you can see this where it says running sticky, it says auto update stickies. And so that will kind of flash on the screen, and it will be ensure that all of the sticky information has been updated. So now when I go to that sheet that I did, which was that G002, right, using Ideate Sheet Manager, you'll now see that when I zoom up on that, it has the Philips Lighter for the Providence Medical Project. All right. So that information has been updated because that was set to auto update. When I go to Ideate Sticky, you'll also notice that the other ones there, you can kind of see that they're out of date because those were not set to auto update. So I have to manually update those. So now let's just go do the same thing with our specifications. When you select a Word document, you have the option to say, well, how many pages do I want? In this case, I only want pages 1 through 3 of this specification document. So you can decide, how many you'd like. So there it creates those three documents. I'm going to put those underneath the information there, the Providence Medical Project. And then I'm going to do the exact same thing where I select on the source document. In this case, it's Word, right? So we'll select on that specifications document, and I'm going to say open the file. So this is the source document. And we're going to make a change so that this is architectural woodwork for our Providence Medical Project. So I'll just make a quick change to the text here. And again, save that. We'll come back to Revit and we will update the information here and say close. And you'll notice that that automatically updated the Word document as well. So it doesn't matter whether it's Excel or Word or PDF, it's going to work in the exact same way. And so it's very easy to integrate these non-BIM, and we're calling it non-BIM because it could be, like I said, specifications or links to other information that you need to show in your Revit project, but there may not be sort of a one-to-one relationship with the elements that you have within your Revit project. So I've got a couple tips here. You saw that I was able to do a named region. So a named region allows you to specify individual cells. But you know what? You can also do that by a formula, and then those cells can grow or shrink depending upon this particular formula. We actually have this available in that Philips lighting specification, as well as the revision schedule in the samples, which shows you basically how to do this so that you can break up a very long schedule into multiple stickies. So again, here's using the offset command, right? And so this information, like I said, it's available in our samples. You can see this multi-page revisions fixed length that will actually have in the Excel file, there's a tab for instructions telling you how you can do the offset command to be able to have the columns basically grow and shrink depending on the numbers that you have. And then another question that we get quite a bit is, how would I do repeating headers on a schedule, especially if you've got multiple pieces of information? Again, within Excel, the page setup, there's a little option there to say repeat rows at the top. And so you can specify that so that every time you select that sticky schedule, you're going to place it in on the Revit sheet, it can have the information on the top. Like in this case, we have the image, and we also have some other information about the revision schedules. So I see we're just about 2 minutes. I'm going to open it up real quickly. Naveen, before we shut down, were there any specific questions that you think I should answer?
I got one question about placing the Ideate Sticky on BIM 360, and I was telling Dylan in the chat that you can place it on your desktop connector BIM 360 as long as you keep on this device so that it would refresh it. So
Excellent
that's the
question.
only advice. Mm-hmm.
And you actually see that there is, in this case, if I can do a shift select and I can say, update that information, right? So I'm actually updating the information here, which is on the disk, right? So now it says current. If you see cloud disk, that means it's coming from the Autodesk Construction Cloud or BIM 360. So you can have the ability here to have it be an absolute path, a relative path, so that is underneath your project, or the cloud. In this case, I can't really change it because I've already that information is living uh, up in ID or up in the Autodesk Construction Cloud via the desktop connector. But we can certainly integrate with that information very easily on the desktop connector. So you'll see the three, you'll either have cloud disk, it'll be current, or it'll be out of date. Those are the three status. And then the path type, you'll either see absolute, relative, or cloud.
There were two other questions actually that just came in. One question was, do we support subscript or superscript character? We actually have a sticky that shows all the characters that we support. We can link that to you. If you can leave your email in the chat, we'll follow up via support. And the other question was other sources like SharePoint site, Ignite, or Google Docs. We do have customers that use it, for example, the Google Docs, but there might be some limitation in the way it formats things. And that's something just out of our control because it does format it a bit differently. As long as you can work with that, then you can link it via Google Docs.
Yeah, excellent questions. I would say that we're supporting the Autodesk Construction Cloud via the Autodesk Desktop Connector. And then certainly we have Dropbox or any sort of shared network file. And so I know we've been asked a number of times about Google and SharePoint, and just exactly like you said, Naveen, there may be a few caveats there. If you have any questions, you can contact us at support@ideatesoftware.com. And our next 15 at 15 series in 2 weeks is going to be Naveen, who's going to be doing Ideate Smart Delete. So be sure to come back and attend that session as well. Thank you very much.